Senator Stabenow, thank you very much for putting together today's hearing. I want to welcome all our guests. I'm going to be mercifully brief. I do want to note the fact that Senator Stabenow is the ranking Democrat on our important health care subcommittee, where she has really been our lead in terms of fighting for seniors and holding down the costs of pharmaceuticals. Now, 2 years ago, when then candidate Donald Trump was on the campaign trail, he said that he would make sure Medicare would negotiate like crazy to hold down costs for seniors and taxpayers. As of now, well over a year and a half into his term, most Americans believe it is crazy that we are still not negotiating to hold down the costs of medicine. Now, the president made another array of really remarkable statements. He said that he would get prices to drop dramatically. His words, not mine. We all know that what we've gotten instead was a lot of public relations mumbo jumbo instead of concrete steps. And I want to put this into context because we feel very strongly that we need to play offense and come up with real approaches that hold down the costs of medicine rather than all this public relations choreography. It almost sounds like he's trying to schedule an Olympics, but nobody ever gets to show up. No athletes get to show up. It's just all fanfare and hullabaloo. So in addition to making sure that we can lift this ridiculous restriction so that Medicare could bargain, I have introduced a proposal that caps the out-of-pocket costs for medicine. Senator Stabenow has put in a wonderful transparency bill to make sure that when you're in the pharmacy, you can have a chance to get a reasonably priced drug. And I've also introduced something called the Spike Act, which would force the pharmaceutical companies to justify these huge price hikes. And we've included a version of that in our better deal proposal. Now, what Spike says is that the Department of Health and Human Services, when drugs increase by more than 50% or over 5 years or 15% in a year, the pharmaceutical companies would have to explain the increases. So that gets right to a valuable point Senator Stabenow made. Are they spending the money on critical research and development, or are they just spending it on ads and all the rest? So I'll close with just a couple of examples of what Spike would mean right now for all of you and consumers. Pfizer would be on the hook to tell the federal government and the public why its nerve and muscle pain drug Lyrica, why the price has increased 127% over the last 5 years. Medicare spent $2.1 billion on this drug in 2016 alone. So if Pfizer and the Trump administration want to brag about all the steps they're taking to address drug prices, in my view, a better place to start would be justifying why seniors and taxpayers have had to absorb a triple-digit price increase on one of Medicare's most used drugs. I'm going to put into what we call around here, put it into our kind of record, because we had the same thing happening with Crestor, a drug for high cholesterol. We have the same thing happening with Lantus, an insulin product from Sanofi. But the point is, what we want is more than PR that really isn't changing anything for people at the pharmacy window across the country. We want measures that have teeth, that are enforceable. They're going to make a real difference for the consumer. Senator Stabenow, thank you for what you